Hey there, this is R A Manard for Monks of the Way, and this is the weekly talk. So let's just jump right in. We're talking about the first, second, third, fourth. Yeah, fourth. Fourth precept. Some will say that it's wrongful speech. What they're trying to do is be more inclusive of other things as well, instead of so exclusive. But really, it's bigger than that. Really, what I would call the fourth precept is telling lies. But we know that we're telling lies when we say something that's obviously not true. But we're also telling lies when we seek to deceive. We're also telling lies when we put on a fake image. Some people do that with makeup, hair, clothing, or whatever. I'm not saying you can't dress and feel like yourself the way you dress because it's for you, or speak the way you speak because it's for you, or do the way you do because it's for you. But we know what telling lies is. We know what's on that side. As some people also say, it's gossip. But if you're not telling lies and you're not trying to deceive in any way, then that really wouldn't apply. So some people think very little about telling lies, but it's really huge. It really is. This is a thing that builds up. If a person continuously tells lies, it'll build up. If they have a problem with their self-esteem, telling lies will make it worse and worse, not better and better. So you're not applying medicine, because there's a short-term feel-good that you get when you tell the lie to compensate. Mostly people do it to compensate. And we see this in all kinds of people. And I'm not being political here, but I want to mention a figure a lot of people know where I am, and that's the president. Uh, this current president is Mr. Trump. We notice, and you can actually go and look at videos that are from people from the CIA and the FBI talking about how to tell if people are lying and being deceptive. And you'll see that this president gives those tells abundantly. Abundantly. And I mention this because this is the profile of a person who feels bad about themselves. They can never be good enough. They can never be wealthy enough. They can never be smart enough. And these feelings keep compounding. The more a person that lies says, nobody knows more about this or that than I do. I know everything about it. I'm the best at that. When obviously they might know something, but they're compensating. A person that goes into public office wants to seek power over others. Police officers also, um, you probably understand what I'm saying. Most of these kinds of people have these kinds of issues. So this is how rampant these issues are in society. And the people that have these issues, most of them are compulsive liars. At this point, they can't control themselves. Can they cut back on it? Can they eventually stop? Can they change? Absolutely. But some people, all people can get caught in this, and some more than others, and some it's harder to get out than others. We find ways to harm ourselves thinking we're helping, that compound, that make things worse and worse, and close us off instead of open us up, that hurt our relationships with people. They feel like that we don't really love them because we lie to them. And maybe we really do love them, we just having a problem expressing it. Even if we do express it as best we can, and Repeated lying will make people think that you don't trust them, and that's why you lie to them. A person that doesn't lie habitually as a habit generally doesn't understand why they do it. And people that get lied to by the habitual liar generally don't understand why they do it. Lies separate people, they make people less powerful, give them less impact, make them less productive. And I'm talking about the harm that this does, obviously, in a person's life, to themselves, to other people. And there's more too, because when we look at one side of something, we should look at the other side too. What about rightful speech? What about, instead of the intent to deceive, the intent to reveal, the intent to help, to get closer, to be a part of that process of making investments in ourselves and other people as far as speech goes, what we're talking about, what we're conveying when we talk. For example, sharing this with you would be an example of rightful speech. It's my attempt to share what I have with you in friendship, and it's not an effort to get your money. It's not an effort to get power over you. It's not an effort to make myself better in your view or whatever. You're not even looking at me currently because it's not about me. I, I, I really myself dislike it when the camera's on a person who's sharing these truths with you. It seems like it's, no matter what, even if it isn't, it just appears to be very self-serving to be putting yourself in people's face like that. But I understand. And certainly if it was a live talk, I'd have to be there, right? So you might be looking at me, but I wouldn't put myself as the focal point. I would be amongst other stuff. And if I could, certainly the Buddha would be more prominent than me. Certainly. Maybe flowers, maybe trees, maybe nature, whatever. Wouldn't be a zoom in on me. Enough about that. I probably got a little on a tangent there, but you get what I'm saying. There's rightful things that you can do also on the other side of it, not just avoiding the negative, not just avoiding the damage, but making investments in the future. So, express yourself to your family, to your friends, and let them know how you feel. Let them know what's going on. And as long as there's no seeking deception or, seeking to be a martyr, or, there's lots of things that you could be doing that would be somewhat deceptive. But we all know what the truth is. We all know what truth telling is. And we all know when we seek to deceive. And sometimes we seek to deceive when we don't tell someone something. But let me tell you, that is pretty rare. Most of the time, just not talking about something because it's inviting negativity. It's not a real useful thing. It's not wise. It's not productive. It's not good for everybody. Why are you doing it? I give examples like this. A man cheats on his wife, and he wants to have rightful speech. He wants to tell her it was a one-time thing. It shouldn't happen. He knows it. He felt bad about it. The moment he was done with it, he knew what he had done. Maybe even while he was doing it, but I'm digressing there. And he's not going to do it again. He learned. Is he going to tell his wife? Well, maybe he should think about why. Is it so he can feel better about it? Because she's not going to feel better about it because he told her. Um, so it would be self-serving there if that's what he's doing. If, it's just that they should really be totally bone honest with each other, and they bring up things that happen that are no good, and this is just the way their relationship is, that they're able to discuss these things and move forward. Okay, but probably that's not the case. I'm not saying a husband shouldn't tell his wife that he cheated on her. Uh, that would be up to you. That'd be your thing. You do you. But I'm just saying you do you. I'm saying don't make it into a bad thing for you and bad thing for somebody else. Don't harm someone else to make yourself feel better. Strictly speaking, that is. And we want to talk about deception in things that we do. Now, I had a job where I did tech support on the phone, and I routinely, telemarketing in general, had to lie to people, knowingly, willfully lie to people as a job. That's an awful way to make a living. Awful, awful. I, it's, I can't believe I did that. I did that, and I just can't believe it. It was that bad. And you have to know the conductivity of these things. The person that habitually lies is much more easily drawn into and practices things like killing, like taking what isn't theirs, like sexual misconduct, like the use of substances that make them careless, or careless use of substances. These things can flock together like birds. They really seem to draw together. Bad things seem to draw together. And good things seem to draw together. And of course, there's a heck of a lot of mix. But I want to be really clear about these 5 precepts, that there's a real terrible harm in each of the 5. And while use of a substance that makes you careless is awful, and it can hurt you and your relationships, your body, your mind, it's not killing. It's not outright killing. And what you count as killing depends, but it's an intention thing. I don't eat meat as a rule because I'd be participating in killing at that point. So participation in something is what I'm driving at here. With the seeking to deceive, if I'm participating in a deception, I'm practicing lying. So, we want to be a part of things that are true, and try not to be a part of things that are deceptive or lies, certainly. And I want people to take a good look at, if they haven't, in meditation maybe. That'd actually be a good thing to do. To sit in a pondering meditation and just think about, what they've done to express themselves on both sides of it really, really thoroughly. The rightful and the wrongful action and speech that are deceptive that they've practiced. And look, try to understand and look at the good and the harm of these things. People call them moral precepts, and that's okay. But we're talking about working with the universe and not against the universe. We're talking about universal truths here. And the universe, obviously, would like you to go one way instead of the other. And if you work with the universe, you find things are almost effortless. And working against the universe, you actually have to work to keep up those lies, to keep up that drug use, to keep up that sexual misconduct, that stealing, that killing. It takes some effort to maintain that. Anyway, I'll close on that note. I don't want to get too far with this and make it too long a video, because it's daunting to see a huge video on a topic. People are less likely to have a listen. And I would like for as many people as possible to have a listen. My hope for you is that truth will remove delusion in your life continuously. And truth will remove delusion in your life the way light removes darkness, because that's how it works. I want to thank you for having a listen. Once again, this is R A Manard, Monks of the Way, Mitrava, and thanks for having a listen.